We're back here on the Senior Network, and we've been talking about exercising, about dizziness, about balance, and it's been really interesting. We're going to do a kind of a gentle segue, if we can, about end of life and when you die. Can you talk to us a little bit about options that are available, when we need to plan? Who usually comes in? Is it me coming in for myself?
Well, a lot of times it is. This week, you go through little spurts. This week's been a lot of people coming in for themselves, for making arrangements for their own funerals. Most of the time, though, it's going to be a spouse or a child or something like that. And one of the, we're talking about balance. We're talking about physical balance today, but there's also a sense of balance in as you make your arrangements. When people come in, you can tell people that are they're really on top of their game as far as they know what they want. They're comfortable with the end of life. It isn't just a great shock, and that's a lot easier to deal with people that have that mental balance as well as the physical balance, and it makes a big difference.
So you end up being somewhat of a counselor and advisor as well as just
all I do is give out information. I give out information. I say, these are your choices, these are your options. I don't sell anything. I don't try to portray my own personal beliefs on people. I just try to guide them or point them to information where they can get the information about what they want.
What are some of the biggest challenges you face? I've always wondered that, because I'm thinking if one of my loved ones has died and come in, unfortunately it's not the most happy of times.
It isn't. It's. I tell people all the time, I have a business no one wants to use. I catch people coming in many times that are very distraught, or they don't want to make that phone call. They don't want to make that trip to the funeral home. The last thing they want to do is talk about their mom or their dad dying, but they feel like at some point they have to. And trying not to be, I'm a leader. Okay. I'm a funeral director, so I direct people. I say, here's what we can do together. Here's what your choices are if you want to go this way. I give them options, and trying not to, I have empathy, but I can't lose sight of that I'm trying to help them.
You can put yourself in their shoes, but you don't pity them or feel sorry for them. You're there to actually
I'm there to help them. I'm there to help people. And that's, like I've said this before, I wish I were better at feeding the homeless, or sheltering the homeless, feeding the hungry, and things like that. But I don't. I don't have that gene in me. I wish I did. So the way I try to help people is through funeral directing. I try to help them at a bad time.
And you do it from, I know from working with you, it's like a boutique type situation where he's very close to the families, talking the dynamics of all family members. Jim's very good about being able to talk to different family members and kind of bring them together.
And the actual physical entity is pretty impressive too.
Thank you.
Share a little bit about how you design that, because I think for me, the natural light, there are a lot of things that are very calming, just the color palettes that you all chose.
We didn't want it to look like a funeral home, and we gutted this building completely. Part of it was our decision, part of it was the city of Hilton Head saying, you must do this, which I'm thankful now that they did. I didn't really share that thought when we were going through it, but I'm glad they made us do certain things. So we have 3 skylights in the chapel, all natural light. We have a kind of a pastel look, a beachy, off blue light, a very light color, very just homey, beachy. We don't want anything looking funerally.
Right.
Nobody wants to come to a funeral home. Nobody wants to walk into a room full of caskets.
Right.
And so we have little miniature caskets and little urn displays that are tastefully done, and that's really what we're trying to do. Just make something. We try to make it look like a Hallmark store, for lack of a better word.
See, I always say that it is.
And you thought it was a Hallmark store when you walked in there
I walked in and I see this vignette of like retail shopping, and it's the best. I mean, and you're like.
But even though I have stuff out there, I tell people all the time, my famous quote, if I do have one that I can repeat, is,
on TV.
On TV, is that if you spend a bunch of money on your funeral service, you're mad at your money or mad at your kids. You can do so much stuff on a budget.
Is music an integral part?
It can be. If you're going to have a service at church, for instance, one of the first things you do is you meet with the core music director and just go over some songs, and we can certainly play songs at the funeral home. It doesn't have to be religious. It can be spiritual. It just depends where you are, what venue.
And are there receptions often there after the actual service?
There can be. A lot of times people will have a little reception after the funeral. You know, we'll set out some food, have it catered, and it's just a chance to relax. It's amazing. Once funeral arrangements are over, once the funeral is over, people breathe.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Speaking of that, unfortunately, we're out of
We have
time
to take a deep
again.
breath, right?
Yes, I know we are. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank
okay?
you.
It was great, Emily. Good.
And
to
thank
see you
you for
guys.
joining us here on the Senior Network, where senior care experts come together. See you next time.